service, including startups, quick service, full and limited service restaurants. Wallace's educational seminars for leadership development have been attended by prominent restaurant companies. As a food service educator, Wallace has served as a professor and guest lecturer at the New York Restaurant School, the Art Institute, Hudson and Westchester County Colleges. Wallace has been an active member of the New York State Restaurant Association, which was established in 1935, holding various leadership positions, including treasurer, vice chairman of the board of directors, and in 2010, Wallace became the first African-American chairman of the board for the New York State Restaurant Association.
It's showtime. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Numbers with the Restaurant Scientist. I am Jason Wallace. I am the Restaurant Scientist. And I'm proud to have in my studio today with me the owner of Crabbae, Kashif Jones. What's happening, brother?
Good.
What it is. Well, one, I want to thank you for taking your time. I know you're a very busy man, very successful entrepreneur. Let's talk a little bit about how you built the brand, man. I mean, you've done a great job. My brothers, everyone, Irvington, East Orange, Newark, all over Essex County has been talking about you for years. You and I had a chance to meet about a year ago. And again, I want to thank you and your staff for, creating this opportunity to come into the studio. Tell me how you did it, brother. I see so many restaurants out there struggling, and here you are, you're a multi-unit operator.
I struggle every day. Well, my story started off, I was working in Essex County Corrections.
Okay.
At the time, I was going through a lot of life challenges, so I said I needed to make some extra money.
Mm-hmm.
I went crabbing with a friend, and then I fell in love with it. I always loved fishing.
Okay.
But I went crabbing, and I was like, this is different. I'm from Newark, so it's like, we don't know nothing about catching no crabs. So I'm like, wait.
I was just going to say, like, what is that?
Yeah. Well, I'll break it down. Crabbing is taking chicken, tying it to a rope or a stick, and you throw it in the ocean, and you get fresh blue crab.
Wow.
And now, blue crabs cost by the bushel.
Yeah.
I was raised off of my grandmother. She always loved them. So this was like a random time date that we went. I loved it. I was like, yo, I want to sell crab legs.
Mm-hmm.
Came back, put the garlic butter on it. Back then, instantly, I got like 10,000 views. I remember like it was yesterday.
Mm.
And I just was like, yo, I'm going to sell crab legs. So that turned into everybody. When I mean everybody, like a lot of people on Instagram, basically a lot of people on Facebook was like, just do it.
Right.
I did it. I had a line outside of my apartment waiting for crab legs.
That's what I was going to say. It's legendary. It's like, I heard that people literally was coming up to your window.
Yeah, it was.
In your apartment?
So it was crazy. I had like my own operation. It was like the Carter, like seriously.
Nino Brown.
It was crazy. My kids, I put them to work. My lady, I put her to work. Like anybody in my life at that time, I don't care. You had to sell seafood, but it was crazy. Like it was a line of cars. You would think I had a lunch truck or like a restaurant. So security started working with me. I was in Irvington in Maple Gardens.
Okay.
They would park across the street in the Blink Fitness parking lot and wait for me to come over with all these platters.
Wow.
And that's how it started.
Wow.
Out of my house.
Shout out Irvington. Shout out Troy Bowers,
Irvington is lit.
Who else? Reg Holloway. They used to be campers, but now they're Blue Knights. Yeah. Shout out Irvington. Shout out Irvington PD.
And Irvington PD,
yeah. Shout out Irvington PD.
I got a lot of friends in Irvington PD that still support my store now.
Yeah.
So
that's my brother, Tracy Bowers.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah. He's director over there. I think it's director. He's a big shot.
There's a lot of good people in Irvington.
Absolutely. We love Irvington.
Irvington is dope.
So, all right, so you create the Carter, you Nino Brown, you peddling a good product. The rule of thumb in any business is, are you better or are you cheaper, right?
Yeah.
And which one were you?
Creative.
Okay.
I was creative. I started a brand.
Yeah.
I said, at the time, a lot of women were showing me mad love.
Okay.
I was newly separated. So, you know, like when you're hitting the dating scene, right?
Yeah,
You got two choices. You're going to go out or you're going to make money. Yeah. So I said, you know what? Crabbae.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. Where did the name come from?
Most women just want to call you Bae
Okay,
because they like you.
got you.
I said, I want to be the Bae for seafood.
Okay.
So I said, Crabbae. When you call me, I want you to call me for seafood. I want you to think crab legs, you think me, and that's how the name came
That's
about.
what's up. All right. So what we're hearing is again the beginning of a legend, and the sky's the limit for Kashif. I see it. I've been in the restaurant industry, many years, 35 plus years, and I know talent when I see it. I know product when I see it.
Thank you.
And I know, more importantly, when we talk about behind the numbers with the restaurant scientists, there's a business side to this, right? And I want you to kind of take a dive into, at what point did you then decide to, right, expand the operations, right? Take over another city project, like New Jack City type thing. When did you say, okay, it's time for me to not make this a hobby or a business, but turn it into a corporation that you can grow from?
That's a good question. I was forced to.
Okay.
I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment.
kind of illegal. Department of Health doesn't really support that either.
Listen.
And the landlord probably wasn't too happy about it.
Listen, ain't nobody bother me. Because I was an officer too, so it was like, listen, I'm not saying that it's legal. I'm not saying that it's illegal. I don't know if you should serve food out your apartment, but if you're doing it for your friends, I don't think you're breaking the law.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'm feeding my friends, so I don't think it's illegal.
Right.
If I'm running a restaurant out of my apartment, which I wasn't doing,
right.
When am I past the statue? Yeah, I could talk now. I could talk. I'm past the statue. But that stuff, I'm going to be honest. Being in law enforcement, I learned a lot. What's going to happen if you caught selling food out of your house? Like you said, the health department going to contact you. You ain't going to the feds, Absolutely. So you can't prove to me that I'm not cooking for my friends. And come on, you're going to lock up a guy with 2 kids and that's already an officer. It was just something I ain't even thinking about. It was a fundraiser. It helped me just get out of my depression at the time. So you talk about a corporation. I was forced because, like I said, I was in a 1-bedroom apartment. I have 2 children, 2 growing children. My babies now, they 16 and 14. Mind you, this was in 2019. You probably better. He's the restaurant scientist, so he's better with numbers than me. So my whole apartment smelling like Old Bay. I'm going out, I'm smelling like Old Bay, but I loved it. I go to work, my uniform, correction officer, smell like Old Bay. I wanted you to smell my vibrations at that time. So
absolutely,
it started to be so overwhelming that I was like, either I leave it alone or I gotta find a spot. Rewind years ago, I had a lunch truck that did terrible. It was called She Dancing Hot Dogs.
Okay.
I started as a vendor in Newark.
Okay.
But it did so I didn't have a marketing concept.
Gotcha.
Crabbae took off so fast that I had to be forced to grow with it.
Got you.
Or I was just going to let it go.
Got you.
That's
so where's the entrepreneur, and more importantly, where did the food service? Because clearly you had a food truck.
Yeah.
So
I should have started way back there.
Yeah. How did that happen? And
I made my entry into the restaurant industry when I was a kid. I was a waiter, King's Restaurant. Okay. I actually just ate there yesterday. Shout out to them. On Lines Ave, Clinton Ave.
Yeah, okay.
If you're from Newark, you know King's. So they taught me how to be a server, working for $2.50 an hour. I learned the business. But I learned because as a kid, I said everything I do, I want to be good at it. So they taught me how to be a server. Even sometimes I just learned the business, how to clean and everything. Then in my early 20s, I bought a hot dog stand. I had a little hot dog stand. I had 2 locations. I would go from one to the other. I was a peddler in Newark. That went well. But like I said, I didn't have a marketing concept. I thought my friends was just going. I was relying on my friends, who were my Facebook friends at the time.
Right.
The hot dogs was good. They made me fat, so they was good. But it was just basically depending on foot traffic and not an actual marketing strategy like I have now.
Gotcha.
Then fast forward, I needed something to do. to make money besides my 9 to 5.
Got you.
And then Crabbae, I was like, okay, this is working. I'm gonna pursue this.
Yeah, and we talk about entrepreneurship, particularly for us African Americans, blacks, and we got to get in where we fit in, right? We already know the systemic racism between us going to a bank and getting a loan, or us signing a lease, and credit check rounds and background check rounds. All of those things are barriers to entry for someone like you. So I applaud you.
Thank you.
For your tenacity and the ability to just get in where you fit in and grind it and feed your family. Much respect, much kudos to you.
Thank you. I know you know the struggle.
Yeah, the struggle is real.
But somebody got to do it.
Someone has to do it, and you have to start somewhere.
Yes.
So now you got to a point where you got some traction, right?
Yeah, a lot of traction.
So now let's talk business-wise. When you decided to look for that first location, what was your strategy? Who's on your team in terms of, again, behind the numbers with the restaurant scientists is, okay, there's a lease.
Yeah.
What's the cost per square foot? How much square foot do you need? What type of equipment is in there? Is it first generation or second generation location? Like, how did you make all of those decisions?
He talking the big stuff that y'all don't got to know, because y'all ain't going to know. Just hire him because y'all ain't going to know this stuff.
So clearly you've done something right. I mean, either whether it was intuition or a combination of knowledge. Clearly you have a level of intellect that it goes with that intuition and that feeling. So talk to me about that first location and signing that lease, or what that was like.
So before I get to that, I'm going to say you got to really trust God.
Okay.
When you ask God to bless you, but what camera I'm in? When you ask God to bless you, you never know how he going to do it. I wanted to be effective. I wanted to be relevant. I wanted to be popular. More importantly, I wanted to and still want to feed my family and create generational wealth. Right? I didn't say, God, I really want to do this through a restaurant. I've been cooking my whole life. My family been cooking. So first location, support your friends. Now I might say what I'm talking about. My first location wasn't in Maplewood, New Jersey. It went from Maple Gardens, which is in Irvington, and that's my first location. My second was downtown Newark.
Okay.
La Rouge Lounge, Benedict Guerriere.
Yeah.
He rented me his kitchen.
Got it.
Support your friends. My friend looking for a tenant. I have a booming brand. Why not go to my friend who has a lounge, sell food to his people and my people until I find what I want? So shout out to my vegans, but I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Supported my friend and got a quick, sublease situation almost, which is illegal. But a quick, let's call it legal purposes, a catering opportunity.
Got it.
Okay, his restaurant is already registered. Only thing he needs is a dope chef. You go in there, you basically work for him. Okay, you work through him. You still making money. The brand is going. Customers happy. You meeting new people. You networking. So that's location number 2. At the time, I partnered with another local chef who had the talent but didn't have the marketing. We made it work. He taught me a lot. Shout out to him. If you know my story, you know who he is. I ain't making nobody else famous. So then I was like, no, I'm lying, y'all. I was just driving down the street and I saw For Rent.
Okay.
On this place I've been meaning to go to for years.
Okay.
But it's nothing like having your own. La Rouge was great, but I'm still dealing with a mix of a lot. People who just want to come and drink.
Right.
It was just different.
Yeah.
But I started running 2 at the same time. It was La Rouge Crabbae, and then it was Maplewood. I found it just driving down the street. When I called, the number was so low. I think at the time, rent was $2,100.
Wow. Yeah, that's low.
I could give y'all some free game. I'll give y'all a little free game. A lot of people want to get out. If you find the right person that want to get out, and they have some time on their lease, if they have a penalty to pay, they'll look for somebody to come in, work under their name. You got to be certified, whatever. and you still make your money, they make their money.
Absolutely.
So that's what happened to me.
Take over operations. Absolutely. So what he's talking about here is, again, a combination of finding the right location at the right time and the ability to kind of come in and take over an operation in an existing lease. If there's 24 to 36 months left on it, you could come in, take over operations, build your brand, continue, expand your brand in his case, and at the end of the day, make a profit. You can make money. If your rent is $2,100, you said?
It was about
$2,100. You know, you can make, that's a day sales. Like, so you could pay your rent 30 days in a month. Restaurant scientist knowledge, dropping bombs over here, right? It's 30 days in a month. If you're doing $2,000 a day, you're paying your rent in one day, right? Because we only make money off of fixed costs. Remember that. Fixed costs over the contribution rate gives us a break-even point. Variable sales over the variable rate gives us the variable rate, right? 1 minus the variable rate gives a contribution rate. So we only really make money in the restaurant game. We only make money off of fixed costs because variable costs never go away. In order for him to sell more crab, he's got to buy more crab. But the variable rate between what he buys it for and what he sells it for is the rate that he needs to maintain. But the fixed costs, your rent, your salaries, your insurance, all of those things that have no direct relationship to sales is a very important number to know. So when you start with such a low rent, absolutely, you can definitely make money. And then that money, you use that money to grow the next brand, the next location. So continue. This is fascinating.
So I got into Maplewood, but it's day one of the pandemic is when we opened. So it was wild. So as soon as we go to open, you know, I'm used to making good money out of my house and La Rouge. So I'm used to both. So I went from the house, then La Rouge months later, then a few months after that, Crabbae Maplewood. So, but the first day everybody was scared. So we made like $700. I was panicking. I was like, whoa, I'm doing more out of my house. So I'm like, what you mean pandemic? The health department coming by, hey, this can't happen, that can't happen. And Restaurant Depot, it took about 3 to 4 hours just to get groceries, and they didn't have mostly everything that you needed. It was just crazy. But something told me to stick it through. And at that time, if y'all can remember, because a lot of us are out of our minds after COVID, a lot of restaurants shut down.
Yeah, absolutely.
A week later, we got so much business. You would have thought I ran an ad with Jay-Z. Like, you would have thought that the News 12 was outside every day.
Wow.
We became more of a service. People still thank me to this day for staying open. Yes, I had a 3-4 hour wait time, and you know, people of my skin color gonna go on Instagram and say, hey, this, that, and the third.
Right.
But I went from being a civil servant in the morning to running the business all afternoon, all night. And it became a service because you was going to either wait for food, you still had to go home and cook, which took, I'm assuming, 2-3 hours. This is week one of the pandemic. Everybody's figuring it out. We became a service. So we had customers come daily. And at that time, the government was giving out tons of money. So everybody had it. So they ate out with us every day.
Nice. Wow.
Every day.
Wow. So you were seeing again, so now it's unfolding. We're going in chronological order. So let's talk post-pandemic. What was the plan and how did you get to where you are now? And how many restaurants do you now have in your portfolio?
3.
Okay.
3. Currently 3. Post-pandemic. Well, okay, so Maplewood was doing good. Really good. I should have just focused on Maplewood, but not me. So I'm getting a haircut one day. My boy like, yo, I know somebody who got this restaurant equipment for sale. One thing about me, I'm going to always go check out some equipment. But when you check for the equipment, check for the roaches. So now I learned the hard way. Don't just buy used equipment because you're saving $500.
Right.
It might come with some problems.
That's going to cost you $1,000.
So now I buy new, unless you got a deal and I can get it inspected or I bring somebody that's just free game, you know.
Absolutely.
We're so quick to buy something used, but it's not like a car, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
You take the car, you take the problems, you don't have a warranty.
Right.
If you get new equipment, you got that, you could get a 3-5 year warranty because it's going to break. It's going to break. So he says, go check out the equipment. I said, wait. I get in there. She blessed me too. Shout out to Jessica. She's a phenomenal person. I get in there thinking I'm about to buy refrigerators, whatever. She said, take everything. She said, I don't even want this place no more. I'm like, whoa, this is Gavelstone. You remember Gavelstone? Okay, so she had it years ago. This 2017. It was rocking from like 2016, don't quote my numbers, to 2019, 2020, whatever.
Okay.
I'm like, wait, you closing Gavelstone? Liquor license already attached, which I missed out on because I was still starting out. But everything was in play, and it had a following and an Instagram page.
Wow.
So she said, I was just looking like, what are you going to do with this place? I'm going to tear down, make apartments. The city said, nah, you can't do that. So I was just thinking, here I go again. I'm like, wait, that's a whole nother market. Let me get another restaurant. It's still a pandemic though.
Right. Oh yeah.
But my brain was fried with success. Like I just got to the money. I said, this is my moment.
Right. And
I signed another lease realistically in 2020.
Wow. A brick and mortar and during the pandemic. 2
brick and mortars, but I didn't open it till 21 months later.
Okay.
But 2 leases back to back.
Did you have to pay rent while you were not open?
Yes. She might have gave me some grace.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but you can ask for grace.
Yeah.
You know more than I do. I'm not the expert.
No.
I'm just trying to sell more food. That's why I'm on the show. And also trying to teach y'all from my mistakes so you can learn, maybe I can help somebody. But
absolutely,
you can ask for grace. You can ask for, because there's some projects that's, vanilla box.
Yeah, vanilla box.
You got a vanilla box project. You're depending on contractors who always going to tell you, hey, I'll be right back, who got 10 other jobs that they doing, whatever. So you got to ask for that time in your negotiations to remodel because you're investing in that neighborhood and that building. If you're in a building with multiple units, you're bringing, everybody's getting more money because you're bringing more customers.
Absolutely.
So you got to ask for that grace period. So I didn't know that at the time, but naturally I'm just like, I need some months to figure this out.
Right.
So I believe she gave me grace.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did it work out? Because you said you did it, but were you able to turn a profit in there? And
I'm still there.
You're still there? Oh, okay. So it worked out.
Yeah, it's $1 million business.
Drop a bomb there.
It's overwhelming. We're now looking to expand. Yeah, it's a thing. Yesterday, you couldn't get in. Today, it's some reports you won't be able to get in.
Absolutely. So talk to me about when you green light. So for me, when, I clearly have not clearly, but I have a, real estate background and license. So I'm very familiar with lease negotiations. But for me, I go from either green means go, yellow I'm cautious, which I'm always starting out yellow. So I either turn yellow to green, yellow is green, or I start going to red, right? Red means no. What's your process for analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating a particular location or deal? And then how do you green light it? And then more importantly, how do you know when it's time to be like a shellfish, a crustacean, when they actually go molt? And the only way they got to grow is they got to break that current shell. So
you're talking my language.
Right? So when is it that you know it's time for you to grow to the next location? And what's the process that you make to analyze a deal and say, this deal sounds good, but it's not right for me at this particular time?
At any point, if you're independent, you're going to have to, in my case, you're going to have to pray, you're going to have to plan, and then you're going to have to take a risk.
Okay.
I've seen big locations where millions of dollars go out of business. I started with $400. No gimmicks. This ain't no YouTube commercial. I started my current business, which I have 3 locations, with $400.
Wow.
So you got to say to yourself, are you mentally prepared? Are you financially prepared? Did you master your one? I'm learning the hard way. You can still make all this money out of one location. There's locations smaller than mine that's lunch trucks in New York City that probably make triple my revenue when no dine-in selling $10 chicken platters. You know, so this, you don't always have to expand. Sometimes you have to expand your ideas and your marketing and your product, find your customer. So for me, I look at how can I go to a different market with the least amount of money, right? So I like locations that, like I said, another man's trash is another man's treasure. So you might be just fed up. You might be going through a divorce. Hell, you might be tired. This is a very draining industry. It's a blessing, but it's a drain. And just say, hey, I don't want it no more.
Right.
Come in. Hey, what you want for your equipment? Some people just give it to you.
Yeah.
Hey, just take this over. I'm trying to move to Florida.
Right.
I want to retire.
Yeah.
So I look at that, and there's opportunities in every market, but I kind of look at restaurants that just ran their course.
Got you.
And that saves me money.
Yep.
Or you could look at these new construction. Sometimes the owner gives you money for, which I haven't experienced, but I know this is a real thing. They give you money for the construction.
Yeah, TI.
I got a deal right now that's trying to give me 2 years free rent, and they want to pay for the construction. Of course, it's not the best deal, but it's still a opportunity in our market.
Absolutely.
So I look.
He's talking about TI, tenant improvement. When a landlord or work credit, when a landlord, your vanilla box, right? A developer is coming in and they want a specific restaurant to come in, or they want to bring in a restaurant, they will actually pay for the things that they actually should pay for. That's really why you need someone. Let's shout out Downtown Realty in Newark on Halsey Street, 41 Halsey Street, because we're the restaurant retail space experts. And we're going to help you understand what that lease sounds like and looks like. Because if it's going to cost you $150 per square foot to build out things that are going to improve the landlord's building, right? Plumbing, electrical, HVAC, kitchen exhaust hoods.
Foot traffic.
We're not talking about furniture, fixture, and equipment, which is on you as a renter, right? As the business owner. We're talking about the landlord putting their money where their mouth is and saying, okay, we want to help build out your restaurant, and we'll put in the guts.
Yes, because you're making them richer.
Yep, absolutely.
And you got some landlords that's smart. They're going to make you comfortable so you'll never go try to own that building.
Absolutely.
But I'm not that dumb.
Yeah.
I always want ownership.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so, but make these landlords, ask them what's in it for me.
Yeah.
Because if you have a booming business, you're going to just, it's like the game of Monopoly. You're going to keep paying them rent 20, 30, 40 years if you're still good.
Absolutely.
They never going to say, please leave. No. I don't want no more money. It's free money. They just collecting rent.
Absolutely.
They love to see you do good. So make them invest in their HVAC. Talk about the outside of the building, the lighting.
Yep.
Go to the city and talk about the concrete.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's things that you got to ask for. Don't keep your mouth closed. Go ask for whatever, because you can, it's only an ask.
Absolutely.
If you keep asking, make it make sense.
Yep.
And also be wary of them landlords who are going to make you do everything for their property.
Yeah.
And you're like, bro, you won't even help me out. You won't even get pest control, bro.
Right.
So ask for everything.
Yeah, waste removal, pest control, all of it. And even if there's a liquor license tied, you want to be able to make sure you can take that liquor license with you. Some landlords will actually bring a liquor license to the space, but if you leave, the liquor license still remains theirs and stays at the space. Try to avoid those situations. But if you need help, you can always reach out to the restaurant scientist. Right? You know how we do that. So now you make a decision to go for it. So your business sense and acumen is solid in terms of how you are actually making these decisions to grow. So now you have 3 locations within your portfolio.
Yes.
How many employees? So let's talk about the good side of what we do as restaurateurs. We create jobs, right?
Yeah.
You are employing people who are then paying their bills and providing for their family. That's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah, it's amazing. I believe currently, today, 60 to 70.
Nice.
Something like that. The summertime coming up, I'm sure we're going to get even more.
Yeah.
60 to 70 households. And we have vendors, we have DJs, we have different independent contractors.
Yeah.
It's bigger than just employees. We have other people who come in and offer their services, live bands, and a lot of people eating off Crabbae.
No, absolutely. It's an entire ecosystem. And what you're really hearing from a real entrepreneur who was built like literally bootstrap, talking about the ability to understand the entire ecosystem of the restaurant industry, right? That's everything from design and layout, kitchen design and layout, kitchen equipment, purchase, installation. So now you got all those contractors, plumbers, electrical, HVAC people.
You
right?
need them.
Right?
Yes.
Then let's talk about the food supply chain. Like where are you sourcing all of your inventory, individual ingredients, and putting those together? So you know the restaurant industry is the third largest industry behind medical industry. So we're talking about the ability to create jobs, your impact on your community and your family. Any family members that you're training and mentoring? Because as you grow, somebody's clearly running those operations when you're not there.
I have a good team.
Okay.
I have a good team. My kids, I'm trying to train them.
Okay.
But they're kids. Shout out to Linnea and Xavier. My son was supposed to be here today.
Okay.
This dude rolled over twice and said, "Nah, I'm taking a day off." How you taking a day off, bro? You don't do nothing. But I'm grooming my kids to learn the business.
Nice.
God forbid something happened to me.
Yep.
I don't want my business to go by the wayside. And my team's strong. My team is very, very strong, you know. I have managers in every location.
Mm-hmm.
I have a partner in West Orange, first time even considering a partnership, which I didn't have to do, but it was like one of them offers I couldn't refuse.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe in generational wealth, so I'm trying to teach anybody who's willing to learn.
Got you.
But you know, I don't want to go too deep, but the black family is broken.
Yeah.
You know, that's why you don't see tons in New Jersey, I would say tons in an oversaturated market of black entrepreneurs. We're not oversaturated.
No.
For every one, you probably have another 20 businesses on that block, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm big on that.
Yeah.
My kids know this is what I do. I teach them in any way I can. I talk to them, I school them, I drill them, and I get them the game about how life is because it's way different. And off topic, I'm even being called in the schools to teach about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wait, y'all want me to tell them that y'all lying to them? Like, y'all sure? Because
Absolutely.
I have 3 bookings this month, you know, and I take them every time, whether I go voluntarily, whatever.
Yeah.
Kids need to know that there's other opportunities besides college.
Absolutely.
Salute to my educated people who pronounce those big words that I can't spell. I'm looking to hire you. So I'm blessed to be able to go teach now.
Yeah.
Not like a class, but I get to go tell my story just like this.
Absolutely.
But in front of thousands of kids.
Inspirational. They need to know that. They need to see that. For sure. They need access to you.
For sure.
And, you know, the restaurant industry gets a bad rap because, as you said, you might get into the restaurant industry and sign a 5-year lease, 60-month, right? So most leases are 5 years and 10 years.
Yeah.
Some people are signing 3-year deals. Those are too short. There's not enough time to get your money back.
Nope.
So stop signing anything less than 5 years because by the time you put your money out there and you get it all back, it's going to take 36 months or more. Then you start making a return on your investment. You just got your initial money back. However, if someone does decide that, you know what, I did this for 5 years, I'm just burnt out, or my health is declined and I do have to move to Florida, that's not a failed restaurant.
No.
Right? That's somebody like you who's coming in, and if I see myself struggling for whatever reason and I pass that on to you, that's not a failure.
No.
Right? So people are really always shitting on the restaurant industry in that way. And I'm here to step up and stand up for us and say, not all these restaurants are really failing. They're just kind of running their course because there's a difference. They get tired. And there's a difference of being a CEO. So now it sounds like you went from, you know, literally crabbing, right? Sourcing your own product to cooking your own product to now you're moving into a CEO. Like, so you're learning how to be a CEO.
Learn every day.
So let's speak. We got about 10 minutes left. Let's speak more. Let's move in that direction about what you've learned about being a CEO, a chief executive officer, chief financial officer, chief operating officer, all those hats that you wear. And then when do you decide to subcontract out something to someone like myself who say, okay, all right, I need now in order for you to handle this because my energy is best spent here developing the brand or the marketing or being the face. Talk to me a little bit about that.
You got the good questions. Listen, God is going to bless me with a partnership and millions of dollars. I was talking about it last night to somebody who owns a restaurant. All of his locations do about 15 to 20 million. He gives me the game for free. He has 100 properties. He's just that guy. God is going to bless me with a big partner. You subcontract out anything when you get smarter. When you have time to think about it. You may be perfect for a restaurant. I need time to even get past the day-to-day operations to even look that way and say, I didn't even know there was a guy who did that.
Right.
You know, and that's an opportunity for you.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't even know you exist.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They don't even know they need the help.
Yeah.
They don't know. There's a lot of chefs out here. There's a difference between a chef and a business owner. I want you to outcook me so I can hire you. People thought when I first joined this industry, I wanted to outcook everybody. Cooking is simple. Go on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just got to learn to listen and put love into it.
Absolutely.
But now I want to be that CEO.
Yeah.
So I'm learning to subcontract out everything.
Yeah.
You need a partner with everything.
Absolutely.
You can't catch the fish, cook the fish, sell the fish. You could do that with one fish. But if you're trying to do it with millions of fish, you could never do it.
Absolutely.
So it goes back to biblical principles. Jesus built the team. And I don't care.
Dropping knowledge, dropping bombs.
I don't care if you don't believe in Jesus. People still speak that name, so I believe in the story.
Yeah.
He built a team. There was no way we were still going to sit at this table and talk about Jesus if he didn't build that team.
Yeah.
So everything, don't think it's going to be different because you got a seafood business or a real estate company.
Right.
You can't do everything. You're going to sit up there and chop down trees to make the wood to build the house. So I'm learning now to subcontract out everything but build that team. You have to study your team. You have to study people.
Yeah.
I'm clearly doing great at marketing.
Yeah.
But I can double my following right now. All of my pages, we reach millions every month. But the following is about 300K.
Gotcha.
150 one location, 100 another, and then the other ones is chopped down. But I just say that to say, look for people better than you.
Yeah.
And that's how you build a team.
No, absolutely. Knowledge. He's dropping knowledge here. So what he also said, I don't know if you caught this, but I did. The way that you build generational wealth, and particularly wealth in the restaurant game, is you have to, at some point, you have to take a $1 million business and then expand it to a $2 million business and a $3 million business. So now let's hypothetically say that I have $2 million businesses. I got a $4 million company, right? How do I get to $10 million? I either got to build more units at $2 million, 5 $2 million locations, or I have to get those locations to do the volume, right? But it's a volume game in the restaurant space. It's a volume game.
Yes.
So when you understand the matrix behind really how we make money, which is only on fixed costs, like I said, variable costs remain the same. But can we control our internal controls? Do we have systems? Do we have standardized everything? Standardized recipes, standardized packaging, right? Standardized steps of service, standardized menus. Everything has to be standardized in order for us to duplicate and have repeatable strategies will then result in repeatable profits, right? And we can engineer profits. We don't just luckily say, okay, we hope we're profitable. No, I can scientifically, systematically show you how to increase your current profits. Because if you're below 10% net operating income, then you're not maximizing your profits. Should be at 10 or greater.
Right.
We can show you how to get there, but more importantly, can you do it repeatedly? And that's what Kashif has been able to do. He's been able to do one, master it, and now expand it to others. And I'm gonna leave you with one more nugget of knowledge. And when you look at a Cheesecake Factory, forget about whether you like or respect their food, their quality. We're talking about from a
That
business
should
model.
be the first date.
Right. Right. Straight up, you're talking about generating $2,000 per square foot. That's another way we analyze the success of a restaurant, right? How many dollars? As he said, you got a smaller place, 1,000 square feet in New York City, generating $5 million in sales, right? They have to be doing $2,000-$3,000 per square foot.
Yeah.
So we're going to dissect that business and we're going to analyze it from every angle so that we know how to repeat this over and over again. Kashif, man, so one thing I got to ask, and before we wrap this up, what's the plan, man? We're in Q2 2024 now. We're in week 15.
Yeah.
We still have Q3 and 4 left for 2024, and what's going on and what's on your mind and what's brewing for Q1 in 2025?
Partnership.
Okay.
Looking for a big investor, which will increase the value of my company.
Okay.
And until then, I'll be that investor. My third location is booming. I'm just really, once you start a new location, unless you got the restaurant scientists, sometimes it's like starting from the bottom again.
Yeah.
Especially me now learning liquor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I always look for more locations.
Gotcha.
That's crazy, but that's been my track record since I opened. I usually do one a year.
Yeah.
This would be going on year 5. I know y'all say, like, what does that mean? But I done had 5 currently. So I always look for more. So I've been scanning the market. I want to expand in New York.
Okay.
Looking at New York, which is a whole different market. And I'm looking at getting the most out of the current ones.
Yeah.
Business is so booming and I'm focused now on my hiring system. Always looking for opportunity. I want to put my products on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to any of my customers that get the opportunity to watch this, because without y'all, I am nothing. My family, everybody who makes me who I am, my team, I am nothing without y'all. So I always got to say that. So I'm just enjoying my journey. I'm learning. I'm networking. And that's what I'm doing. Sometimes expanding is within yourself.
Yep.
You know, sometimes you got to scale back to scale up. So right now we're trying to make things more systematic.
Yep.
If you're working in your business, you can't work on your business.
Yep.
I ain't trying to sound like I know it all. I'm telling y'all the real because I live this every day. So I'm focused on making everything systematic.
Yep.
And then the sky's the limit for Crabbae. I mean, if you don't see it, you go and see it. I have a lot of stuff that I'm in. I'll be on Channel 11 News. I have tons of things that's about to come out.
Okay.
And the last couple of quarters, I'll be talking to the kids about entrepreneurship, giving back to my community. Teaching your kids that there's other ways besides the traditional way. You got kids right now making $1 million a day on TikTok, 20, 30,000 a week on TikTok. They're not even 17 yet.
Right.
We got to wake up.
Yeah.
We have ghost kitchens. We have different things that people don't even know. Don't let nobody stop you. I started with $400. People tell you got to go get a loan. Even now, they're not trying to just give you loans. This is not real estate. You know, they're not just trying to give you loans with restaurants. So,
not at all.
We focus Q2, Q3, 4, 25, year 2028. I'll be focused. I'll be building brands.
Right.
And that's why I'll be in God's hands doing God's work.
Absolutely. Wow. Knowledge, man. Knowledge. Nuggets of knowledge. You get it here. At Hidden Figures Behind the Numbers with the Restaurant Scientists. I bring the industry leaders. Y'all already know the level of people we've already had on the show and we're going to continue to have. And now we just added another true entrepreneur legend, Kashif Jones. And I want to leave you with one last thought as well, particularly for those restaurateurs that are out there. When you hear myself and Kashif talk about systems, it's no game. You have to have a system. You have to have internal controls to direct, regulate, and restrain the actions of people, because those same employees can ruin your business that are actually the good ones. If they love structure, they can work for you. If they don't, they cannot, and you have to have that structure. And you'll weed them out. You'll bring that professional peer pressure that if you don't want to be hospitable, if you don't understand, our first number one job is serving food safely, right? If you don't understand serve safe food handling, hot food hot, cold food cold, cross-contamination, right? That's a problem in and of itself. That's a problem to the brand, because the Crabbae brand is bigger than any of the individuals that actually represent the brand, right? So that's where we want to go. And the last thing I want to talk about is purchasing power. The ability to bring together restaurants into a buying group, which is something that I'm working on that I want to share, that is real right now. So for those restaurants out there that you're out here buying individual product on your own, whether you're going to the Restaurant Depot or PFG or Cisco or any of the broadliners, we have the direct access to these corporations to get into a buying group and save you money as well as get rebates. Trust me, we know this, we've figured this out, we've been doing it, and we are truly here to help all independent restaurants expand and grow their profits. Well, that brings us to a conclusion of another fabulous show. I want to thank, I don't know if you know, I was rocking my Navy hat today. I want to shout out all my vets, my Navy vets, my military vets. We want to thank you for your service. I want to thank Kashif Jones for coming to the show.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
And, it was a pleasure. We first met about a year or so ago.
Brother got good energy.
In East Orange. And we're going to continue to work together, brother.
Thank you.
So thank Kashif for coming. I want to thank our sponsors, Cornerstone Business Lab and Cornerstone Productions. Without this, none of this would be possible. Until we meet again, my name is Jason Wallace. I'm the restaurant scientist. Power to the people.
When to move.